Welcome, everybody, to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest running sales training podcast in podcast history. My name is Bryan Neal.
My name is Bill Caskey.
Here every week for your listening enjoyment. Join the insider, join the insider, join the insider. Stop waiting. Just do it. It's worth every single dime and every minute you'll spend there. Live coaching with Bill and a group of smart humans who all listen to the podcast. And it's awesome. So you should go do that, everybody.
So here's my recommendation. If you don't join the insider, that's fine. We'd love to have you. But go invest in yourself somewhere. I don't care if it's $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. I've got some people who hire me to coach them, and that's coaching. And you can get some of that, not all, for $97 a month. So whether it's me or us or you've got another option, invest in yourself. Slice a check for your own growth. Just do it. Don't ask questions. And I don't even care if you learn anything. The fact that you took the time and sliced a check and you're paying for something for yourself is going to change how you feel about yourself, your potential, your improvement. I mean, don't cut a check and then don't attend to things. But you've got to invest in your personal brand. Cody Sanchez the other day, I don't know if you know Cody. She's a advisor, and she has a lot of content out there. And every other one, she's like, if you're not investing 5% of your income in yourself, you're a fool today, because you can't keep up with what's going on if you're not investing in opportunities to grow. So
yes, do that for sure. I'm not going to tell you the whole story here. This is just you see these videos. This is great. At some point here, look up the video of an interview with a guy named Andy Miller, who sold his company. I think it was called Quattro Wireless. He sold his company to Apple for $275 million in 2009. He tells in this interview, just look up the videos. It's Andy Miller selling his company to Steve Jobs. It was when Steve Jobs was about to pass, but there are so many great negotiation and sales lessons in this thing. And he tells a really raw version of Steve Jobs, which is really funny, which is not pleasant as a negotiator, but it was really, really good though, how this Andy Miller guy finally connected to Steve and how he got coached up by all the internal Apple. Here's what Steve's going to do. Here's how he's going to act and all this jazz. One of his employees, his chief technology officer, was a fanboy of Steve Jobs. They got in this negotiation room and he goes, fanboy started to spew technology. And so Steve started asking him questions about his tech to, and then he stopped and he looked at Andy, who was the CEO, and said, I'm done talking to him. Wow. Literally hand up. I was like, wow, it was a great lesson. So look up the interview of Andy Miller selling his company.
That's great.
Steve Jobs. It's a great video. Great sales lessons. It's worth a rewatch.
That's good.
That's my little shtick. Okay, topic.
All right, quick topic today. We stay in the sales lane typically, but you and I both are podcast listeners and we're culture observers. And so I listened to quite a few podcasts, and I heard Scott Galloway the other day, and you probably know who he is. He's written several books, and he's a professor at, I think, Harvard or Yale, somewhere Ivy League. And his mission over the past few years, he's seen some of the numbers and statistics about young men, the suicide rate, sometimes the dilemmas that they face that we don't even know that they face. And I'm not around a lot of young men, Gen Z 20 to 35, 40, but some of the numbers he was sharing was really shocking. And that's not what we're going to talk about today, but he did have a tip for young men, and I think it's for all of us, really. And he said, a lot of times we don't have spaces to demonstrate excellence. We don't have and I think a space is like a podcast or a YouTube channel, or maybe you speak, or maybe you're in a group. Maybe you're not the leader of the group. Maybe you're just in a group, a women's group, a men's group. And again, this is not just for men, this is for everybody. And I thought, do most of us really have a place where we demonstrate excellence? And we can do it in the confines of our own home, or we can be on Zoom calls with clients. But is that public enough? Maybe it is. But I was thinking about that, and I thought I would bring it up to you and see if that resonates with you. I'm not sure we make those spaces. And I think part of it is we're humble. We're like, what could I say in a podcast? I mean, that's what Bryan and I said 20 years ago, 1,800 episodes. I mean, after 5 episodes, like, what the hell else are we going to talk about? And we found it. Talk about nothing.
Even trying to prep for this one, we're like, got anything? Like, nope, me either. Like, we're living these boring lives, but this is, Scott in his talk, I believe you mentioned, was talking about young men. We think this is gender neutral. This is about space for excellence. How do you create space, or put yourself in a space for excellence? The first thing you said was interesting to me. And I think everyone's on a different kind of spectrum with this, is what rooms are you putting yourself in, or what physical spaces are you putting yourself in for this? I've got a friend who's her husband is looking for a job, kind of a quiet, introverted kind of guy, not used to out networking. It's really tough for him to move through them. Very empathetic to that. And one of the things I mentioned to him, and this is just funny, this happened, I said, just I go to this restaurant, Patted Shoe restaurant in Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, if you go there, you see people, don't you? You just run into people. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But you put yourself in the space
that's right,
to allow the accident to happen.
Yeah.
And I said, if you stay at home and search for jobs on LinkedIn, you never put yourself in the space for randomness.
Yeah.
I got up to get coffee. I come back. Guy turns around. I didn't notice sitting behind me. Hey, Bryan, what's up? Guy, no. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? I gave him a big hug. I said, what are you guys doing in this meeting? I said, oh, my friend Bob, this guy from Chicago, he's in your fraternity group too. He goes, I was just with Bob. I go, let's do a selfie. Click. And then I sat down with my buddy and I go, I didn't plan that.
Yeah.
But I'm showing you, it just randomly happened.
Yeah.
So
and Galloway, I don't know if you've heard Galloway say this, but he says that exact thing. And again, this is targeted a young man, but it doesn't matter. He says, get out of the house.
Yay.
Do not stay in the house. It doesn't mean go to a bar and drink all night. It means, but it might mean go out into church groups and go out to conferences and conventions and city council meetings and meet people and make it a goal of meeting 5 people. And within a month, opportunities start to come to you because you're not sitting at home in your office or studio. Yeah.
So good. So good for sellers. Get out of your house. Get in. Some of you drive around in your car going on sales calls. Get out of your car. Go somewhere other than your customers and your home office. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really good.
And I think the whole excellence, how do I demonstrate excellence? So that seems like a big thing. Like, well, where am I excellent? What am I good at? What's my calling card, not physical card, but what's the thing that I want to be known for? And maybe it's something as simple as I go out and I meet people and I care about them. And I'm with them. I'm present with them. Hey, what's going on? What's some of the challenges? What are you trying to accomplish? How can I help you? I mean, it may sound weird, but sometimes if you ask that question, people will know exactly what kind of help they need. Well, I'm looking for a CPA or I'm looking for an attorney. And then an attorney and the attorney says, and so you put people together, but you never do that if you're sitting in the house. And I think that's good. That's good for me to hear too, because I can get very comfy here in the studio and shooting video. And yet when I go out, I went out to a church meeting here on Saturday morning. I had breakfast with a bunch of guys I didn't know. And I met a guy, we had coffee and we have a friendship. And I don't know if I'm not going to make any money from him or he from me, but there's a connection. And I think that's important, especially as you get a little older, you need to be around younger.
Yes. That's so good. I'm going to brag on a local woman in Indianapolis here. Do you happen to know Rebecca Fleetwood Hessian by chance? You know her in Indy? So she does a program. It's for women called Stand Tall in Your Story. She does it once a year here in Indy. She rents out a club here called the Vogue. It's a nightclub, but it's a cool theater and men can go to. And she has women that join this coaching program of hers. And the end of the coaching program at this big event, and there's like 1,000 people at this thing. Each of those women stand up and share their personal journeys and stories with the room. And I've never been. My wife's been multiple times. I know a lot of friends that have gone, and men go too. It's pretty heavy. It's heavy to get up there and share vulnerabilities in front of people. So I think get in the room first, and then secondly, participate. Participate. And participation takes vulnerability and courage. And participate doesn't mean you have to be on the stage. Participating might, for the time, be you're sitting in the room.
You can be willing to be on the stage.
Yes. Or you go to Rebecca's event 4 years in a row and you're terrified to be on the stage. And maybe it's that 5th year. You're like, you know what? This is my year.
Yeah.
It's okay. And so be in the room, one, but then two, lean in to participate. And you just don't know where that's going to take you. I think that's creating space for excellence for yourself that you control.
Great. That's great. I had a example of the other side of that. I went to I work with a financial planning company, and they have these events around the country, and they have a couple speakers. And we heard a really good speaker. I'd like to get him on the podcast. He's an Australian guy, really good. But there was they had people from the local office introduce the speakers and the panelists, and they all were, they were terrible.
Okay.
They were terrible. So they have this moment in the sun with a spotlight on them. They're up on stage in front of 300 people, and these are friends and clients, and there's good things that happen. It's all very positive. And they read their statement. Thanks for coming today. I just want to introduce one of our special. And I'm like, you had the moment to shine, baby. You had a minute. All you had to do was stand up on stage and own the stage, and don't have to read your notes. Really? You didn't know this was coming until like an hour before? No, you knew you were going to do that. So when you are, and I know it sounds like a curmudgeon here, but when you are in a space where you can demonstrate excellent, be excellent.
Yes.
Because if you're not, you may not get another chance. We tried. Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, he did it last year. Yeah, I don't want him again. Jonathan, didn't he get fired? No, he's still here, but he hides in the back room. Okay. So, but if you can demonstrate excellent, do it, but be excellent at it and work on it. And like you're talking about these stories, these stories are a lot better if you've developed yourself in the telling of them, and you know how to tell the story, and you know.
Have you seen the old video of a Christmas program for this young lad in England? I think his name is Milo, and they're doing the nativity scene play. And he's in the back. He's in his car seat. And he's telling his mom the part. He's like, you got to watch it. It's called Milo. He says, he goes, I got a great pot. I got an excellent pot. She goes, what are you, Joseph? And he's like, no, not Joseph. And are you three wise men? He's like, no. And she's like, what are you? He goes, I'm door holder number 3. Door holder number 3. He holds the door open for the other actors. But this kid, his name's Milo. Look up door holder number 3. But what you hear him say, he goes, I'm going to be the best door holder that ever had. I'm going to hold the doors. I'm like, this is a kid who's taking his moment for excellence and putting his energy into it.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
That's
Milo, door holder number 3. You're going to love it when you watch it.
So find the places where you can demonstrate excellence, and then be excellent at demonstrating excellence.
Practice. Okay, if you haven't already, join the LinkedIn group. And on LinkedIn, we got 14,000 people there. I love the DM. We mentioned this last time. DM us directly. Bill Caskey, Bryan Neal. Connect with us. We connect with everybody, especially if you're a podcast listener. Just say you are. And then DM us, say, hey, I'd love to talk about this, or send us a voice memo as a DM. You can do that, or even a video, and say, hey, I love what you guys do. Here, talk about this, talk about that. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, if you want to send the audio to listener@advancedsellingpodcast.com, pretty sure that we used to do a lot of that. We haven't done it in a while, but man, it's time. We got new listeners, and we want to hear your voice. And if you don't want us to use your whole name, we can make the voice sound like we do on Dateline. Chris Hansen does it. Okay.
He does. All right. That's a bad one. Okay. And bye.